Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 209. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got some Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing there, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
This week, we got 2 horror movies. I feel like we've been doing a lot of horror movies recently.
Well, it seems like this is the time of the year where they dump the horror movies.
It seems like there's been a number of horror movies coming out recently. So we'll be talking about Mickey Keating's Darling, which is now out on VOD and is playing in select theaters. And we're also going to talk about Mike Flanagan's Hush, which is available on Netflix. Premiered on Netflix this week. Of course, we'll be talking about someone we've been watching on the watch list. Got some movie predictions, some VOD releases, some Blu-ray stuff in there. Let's start things off as we normally do with a little bit of news. There's been some casting news this week for David Wayne's National Lampoon movie. Now, as most of you may know, I'm a big fan of the National Lampoon, the classic National Lampoon, as in the magazine and the first few movies. And David Wayne's going to be directing a biopic of sorts about the National Lampoon. This is going to be on Netflix. This is going to be a Netflix original movie.
Okay.
I'm guessing that it's going to be called A Futile and Stupid Gesture because it's based on the book. It's going to be largely focused on the life of Doug Kenny, who was one of the founders of the National Lampoon. He's going to be played by Will Forte, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Doug Kenny, you may know him because largely Doug Kenny was kind of a behind-the-scenes guy, but he was in Animal House. He played the one kind of weird-looking nerdy guy in Animal House with the glasses. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen that movie in ages.
Oh,
which just reminded me, I need to rewatch that one.
You do.
I'm gonna do that.
So in addition to Will Forte being the lead, they announced Domhnall Gleeson is going to be playing Henry Beard. He was one of the He was one of the co-founders. Thomas Lennon is going to be Michael O'Donoghue. Joel McHale will be playing Chevy Chase.
I like that for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, especially since Joel McHale.
That's the only reason it's interesting. And I feel like they did that just because of that tidbit.
Yeah, because he doesn't really look like Chevy Chase, and he doesn't particularly act like Chevy Chase either.
He must do like a really good behind the scenes Chevy Chase impression.
That's what I'm guessing.
We just haven't been privy to yet.
Exactly. I'm thinking that all the time that he spent with Chevy Chase on Community, I bet he developed something of a good impression of him or something, and that's what we're going to see. So I'm pretty excited about that. Additionally, this week they announced the casting of John Belushi, Harold Ramis, and who am I missing? John Belushi, Harold Ramis, and Bill Murray. Okay. So John Gemberling is going to be John Belushi. You may know him from Broad City. He's Bevers from Broad City.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right. I did see that.
So that's cool. I'm down with that. Rick Glassman will be playing Harold Ramis. Rick Glassman is from the show Undateable on NBC. I've never seen it, but
okay.
And John Daly is going to be Bill Murray. John Daly is from Kroll Show. He's one of the rich dicks from Kroll Show. So I think that's some good casting. I'm kind of excited for that.
There's a lot of funny people in that.
Yeah. Also, Seth Green has been cast as Christopher Guest. So I'm excited for that too. I want to see Seth Green doing Christopher Guest.
That should be a fun movie. Hopefully.
Yeah. Matt Walsh has also been added in there as well. He'll be Matty Simmons, who is the CEO of the publishers of National Lampoon. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that movie.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to turn out good. Netflix, their catalog has shrunk by 31.7%.
What?
Now, you're a big Netflix guy, Kevin. What do you think about this? 31.7%.
Yeah, but what part of the catalog? Because there's a lot of shit on there that no one's ever going to watch.
Well, that's movies and TV shows. That's kind of a culmination of both.
Because have you ever like just got stuck in a K-hole and just searched through their list of like Play Instant?
Yeah, but it used to be better. That's the thing. Like they've done it little by little to the point where you don't really notice it. So like they used to have. Okay, so as of January 2014, they had 6,494 movies and 1,609 TV shows. And then as of March 23rd of this year, they offered just 4,335 movies and 1,197 TV shows. So that's 2,571 fewer titles.
Yeah.
So their catalog's getting smaller. Now, what I think that they're doing is I think that they're gonna eventually just have original stuff. I think eventually their catalog of movies and TV shows that are not their own, I think they're gonna keep dwindling as their original programming rises, because they started off with the original shows, and now they're adding in movies, because they started with, I think, documentaries first. They picked up some documentaries and we're putting them up on there, but now they have their own movies. They're buying up movies from festivals left and right. Yeah. And I think eventually what's going to be happening is that it's just going to be its own thing.
Yeah, but there's like so much on here that they could get rid of. Like I'm just looking through it now, and there's
sure. I mean, there's lots of crap.
Like I can watch the Wildebeest Migration.
Yeah, there's
no one's gonna watch that.
They have like all those Nat Geo things and all that.
Yeah, no one's gonna watch that. Showdown of the Unbeatables from Nat Geo. Who watches that show? Didn't even know that was a show.
Well, apparently it is. Somebody out there probably wants to see that.
Travel Channel's Underground Barbecue Challenge.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? Like, this is just taking up space. Travel Channel's Extreme Vacation Homes.
For you, but some people like Extreme Vacation Homes.
Cooking Channel's Bite This.
I just think that it is kind of a sign of things to come with Netflix. I think that they're going to be doing more and more. I mean, they just this year alone, they announced that they'll be releasing 31 original shows, which is way more than a couple years ago when they had 1 or 2.
It is. It's when I've gotten on recently. I never realized how many shows that they have.
Yeah.
On Netflix, like their original shows.
Yeah, because
half of these you don't even hear about.
Yeah, because a lot of them are shows that were released on other channels in other countries. Like they have a lot of British programming and stuff that came out in the UK that they then pick up and release here. So a lot of the stuff they didn't like finance the creation of the shows, but they are releasing it. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of these shows have been around for a while, and then they just picked it up and are putting it out as their own.
There's so many things on here I've never heard of.
Well, and I think a lot of that is due to the fact that I still think that Netflix has the worst navigation of any site ever in the history of anything.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
It is
Netflix is fucking awful.
It is absolutely terrible. I wanted to look for something on Netflix the other day, and it was like, I don't even remember what it was. It was like a TV show or something that I had already been watching on Netflix, and I could not find it.
And it'll just disappear.
I could not find it, Kevin.
But there's times where I get, when I load it up on my PlayStation, right? And it changes every single fucking time I load it up. Because normally it's like my list is right at the top, and then the bar under that is continue watching.
Yeah.
And it changes every single time. Sometimes my continue watching bar, not even there. Not even there. Can't find it. They just get rid of it for like 2 weeks for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they'll add movies that are big movies, and I'll see about it somewhere. I'll see it like when someone on Twitter will say something or somewhere else. And it's like, oh shit, that should be right on the front page because that's a big movie.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere to be found. You have to search for it. Like, how hard is it to just have a dedicated page of, hey, this is all the new stuff that we just added?
I don't understand why you can't. Now, I use Apple TV for Netflix, so maybe this is on some of the other apps, but I can't search by genre. Like, I can't look at, there's no section for that. I have to either page through their own categories where it's like bloody supernatural horror,
Yeah, their categories are out of control too.
Or do a search, but sometimes I don't want to search. Sometimes I want to browse.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to be pigeonholed into these very, very specific categories that you're giving me. Sometimes I just want to look at comedies, but I can't because there's no genre section in the app. It's insane. And also, like what you were saying with the whole My List thing, I can't find that half the time. I have no idea where my list is because I have to page down and go past all of the other crap.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. It's just,
you have to go past the witty movies.
Yeah.
Cerebral movies.
And
movies from the 1990s.
And there are other sites out there that use the Netflix API that help it be more organized, but you shouldn't have to use a third-party site. It should just be there.
This is, and again, or at least I am all over Fandor here. Fandor has a new releases page, and it's just the new movies.
Yeah.
You can just go, and the ones at the tops are the one at the top is what they just added, either that day or yesterday, and you can just cycle through, and it goes on for like 20 pages. So if you don't go to Fandor for like 4 days, just go to that page and just page through them, and you're like, okay, I'm up to date with everything that's been added to Fandor.
Yep, it's so easy, and also how Fandor has genre. They have their own like curated stuff that you can look at, but they also have genre.
And their filters on their genres are fantastic. You can go by runtime, country, the year.
Yeah.
And then they have it broken down into subgenres. Like action and adventure has Bruceploitation, Chopsaki, disaster, seafaring. You have seafaring action and adventure movies. Bedlam, Manhunt, combat, biker, sword and sandal. Like you can break it down into everything.
Yep, and that's fantastic. And I'll say that the Fandor app on Apple TV, unlike the Netflix one, is great. I can find exactly what I'm looking for. It doesn't take me an hour to sift through a bunch of garbage to locate what I'm looking for. Anyway, Netflix, get your shit together. God.
How fucking hard is it, Netflix?
I mean, I've canceled and resubscribed to Netflix 5 times probably over the last 2 years, but I'm keeping it now for the original movies and programming. But man, I feel like I got all their shit together. I do want to give credit to allflix.com for coming up with or for releasing those statistics about the catalog. The Golden Trailer Award nominations were announced this weekend. I'm not going to go through these. I appreciate that something like this exists because I think that trailers, be it TV show trailers, video game trailers, any kind of trailers, should be recognized because I think that they are a really important part of the marketing for a movie or whatever. And they rarely get noticed. So I think that the golden trailers are a good thing because a lot of work gets put into making these trailers, especially, and a good trailer can really make or break a movie.
Because there's some people that, that's the only way in which they decide if they're going to a movie or not.
Yeah, and for me, I watch a lot of trailers, and for me, trailers work. They get me excited about a movie that maybe I wouldn't be otherwise. So, and especially when festival time comes around and they release,
you just start rolling them on.
Yeah, when they start releasing festival trailers, because these are movies that are completely unknown. Like, I have no idea what these movies are. So when they release a trailer, it's like, oh, okay, yeah,
I like the look of this.
Yeah. So I think trailers are definitely underrated in their influence, and I think they're a really important aspect of the medium. So I appreciate that the Golden Trailer Awards are a thing. I don't know how big of a deal they are to the people that actually make the trailers, but I think I think they're cool. Like as far as these awards go, it's insane. They break it down it's like this is like a Fandor category breakdown here. They have like best foreign action, best foreign comedy. They have best foreign graphics in a trailer, like foreign horror, foreign independent, foreign music, and then of course they have like the domestic versions of all of those, and it's crazy. There's so many categories. They do video games too. Trashiest trailer. Yeah, so you can page through these. I didn't post them on the site or anything, but you can find them on the Golden Trailer Awards website, which is goldentrailer.com. Yeah. Trailers this week. Got a few trailers to talk about. Swiss Army Man, the farting corpse movie, as it's been called by the media. This is the one with Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe that was, I'd say it was probably one of the most talked about movies out of Sundance this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have a movie with a farting corpse, I think you're automatically going to be one of the most talked about.
I was already on board with this, and after watching the trailer, I gotta say I'm even more on board because it looks so absurd and ridiculous, and I'm all in. I'm all in on this one. It just looks like a blast. Some of the stuff that he uses that corpse for. If you're not familiar, Paul Dano gets stranded on a desert island. He's about to end his own life when a corpse washes ashore, and it turns out that the corpse is played by Daniel Radcliffe, and he ends up using the corpse as a tool to help survive on this island. So it's a Swiss Army Man.
I wonder if he just gets a disease from this corpse, having this corpse around, and then just dies at the end.
I doubt it. I want to say I doubt it.
I hope that it ends that way.
But the trailer shows a lot of the various uses of the corpse. So, yeah, I'd say check out the trailer because it looks like an interesting one. Bloodfather. This is the new Mel Gibson movie. Just wanted to mention it because it's Mel Gibson and he hasn't been in anything for a while. This movie looks terrible, but it's a Mel Gibson movie. Sort of an action thriller.
William H. Macy.
Yep, Bill Macy's in it.
Diego Luna.
Yeah. Not sure what to think about this one yet. It's probably not going to be good, but the last Mel Gibson movie I think was that Get the Gringo movie, which was actually pretty good. So I think that it got unfairly maligned just because Mel Gibson was in it, but the movie itself is actually pretty decent. So I don't know what to say about this one. It looks like kind of a Taken style action movie.
Bloodfather.
Yep. We'll see. I don't know. And the big one that came out this week was Rogue One, A Star Wars Tale. This is the new Star Wars movie that's coming out this December.
Oh boy.
Boy, was I excited for this one.
Oh goodness.
I am all about this one. I don't know. I might be, I don't know. The hype for the last Star Wars was pretty big, but for some reason this one, just from the teaser trailer, looks better to me than the last Star Wars. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. And it was just a teaser, so we didn't get to see a whole lot out of it. But
there's a lot of fucking people on this.
Yeah, there is. Directed by Gareth Edwards. So it visually looks pretty gorgeous.
Well, it's got Ben Mendelsohn, so that's all I need to know. I'm in. Let's do it. Even with Forrest Whitaker in there, still not going to deter me. Ben Mendelsohn is stronger.
He has a couple lines. He has a couple lines in the teaser, and that was the only thing that brought it down for me. I was like, oh no, I'm still excited for it. It still looks pretty awesome. So yeah, I'd say absolutely check out the teaser for that one. Get yourself hyped up for Rogue One. Let's go. Let's just jump into our first review. Let's just transition right into that.
Perfect transition.
Yeah, perfect transition. Seamless. I was thinking we could talk about Darling first.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is written and directed by Mickey Keating. I have a synopsis here. A lonely girl's violent descent into madness. Simple, to the point. The This stars this stars Lauren Ashley Carter, and she's pretty much the only person in it. I mean, Sean Young's in it for a couple seconds. Larry Fessenden has a little cameo in there. Kevin, I was thinking we could start it off with you on this one. What'd you think of Darling?
Darling is one of those 50-50 movies where 50% of it I'm really into. Really, really into it. Love the look of it. Love the feel of it for the most part. The other 50% do not like it at all, and I want it to stay away from me as far as possible. And putting it all together at the same time, it doesn't feel like a whole movie, honestly.
Nah, not.
Just feels like a rough sketch of an idea that it seems like they're just more. It's more just like an experiment with like the visual style and the atmosphere that they're trying to create. And there's just, I mean, honestly, when it comes down to the narrative of the descent into madness or whatever the hell you want to call it, it's just, man, it's like a whisper of a narrative.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot here other than the visuals and the interesting stylistic choices that they make with the lots of flashing, lots of like quick bursts of like screaming and stuff.
Yes.
A lot of that. In fact, there's actually a warning before the movie starts that lets you know, hey, there's going to be a lot of strobing.
Which I gotta say, I didn't think there was that much of the strobing going on, because I was a little worried at first because I can't handle that stuff.
No, there wasn't.
I was like, oh, here we go.
I didn't think they overused it.
And then I was like, man, this is kind of tame, guys. I think it would have worked a lot better if they went full on abstract. Because anytime it's like working in like the narrative mode, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit and just kind of outline the plot. So basically, Lauren Ashley Carter plays a young woman who is hired as a caretaker in this old building in New York City, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So Sean Young is the one that hires her. She walks around this house and slowly starts to go insane.
Yep.
And rumor has it that the house is haunted, so we can sort of infer that the house is making her go crazy.
And you got voices. She's hearing voices whispering.
Yeah, but there's a little twist that happens at the end that I don't know if it necessarily worked for me because it felt so like superficial by the end. I wasn't that invested in it to begin with, so when that twist did occur, I didn't really care.
Yeah. And
I'm referring to there's like a phone call that she gets from Sean Young.
Yeah.
That kind of reveals something, but it was just like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. Because and even because this movie is relatively short. I mean, it's a little over an hour, but man, it at the same time, it feels like they really draw this out.
Yeah.
For me. Like this, I think this would work much better as a short film. You know what I mean? It seems like you have the content for a short film, and then you're just trying to draw it out for barely a feature.
Yeah.
Because it gets kind of repetitive too, where she's just kind of moseying around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And like it says at the beginning with the strobing and the hallucinations and stuff, there just wasn't enough of that. Like you could have filled that time with the hallucinations or whatever, but most of the time it's just quick, like the little glitches of like
the flashes, like the quick flashes.
It's like that's not spooking people anymore. That's not making people unsettled.
There was one time that it happened that it spooked me, and it was just a quick flash of like her with those giant eyes, and she was like screaming, but it was like it caught me off guard. I think she was like in the bathroom or something, and it just like randomly happened, and it made me jump. But that was the only time.
Yeah, it does hit you. They do that a couple of times. It did get me once.
Which, like you said, I mean that's cool. I liked that kind of aesthetic where that's her slowly cracking and she's losing it, and those things occur. But it just didn't really do it for me as a whole. Like there just wasn't a lot for me to latch onto here. I thought Lauren Ashley Carter was she gave a solid performance.
Yeah, she definitely carries the film.
Yeah,
That and the black and white cinematography.
yeah,
Plus, the the setting that you have, because that house is just ridiculous.
yeah. It was gorgeous. The house was gorgeous, and yeah, the black and white cinematography was good. It was solid, and I think a lot of the framing choices were good. But
Well, I mean, it gets your hopes up too. I mean, the opening shot, you're
yeah,
just like, oh my god,
yeah,
yes,
it was awesome.
let's do this. And then there's also this. It has this feel, which it never quite went there. It had this like, I thought it was going to go down this like campy road because it had they have the little chapter titles
Hmm.
that pop up,
Yeah.
and then there's the one that it's like thrills and demons, and it's
Hmm.
like, oh shit, we're gonna start getting campy. This is gonna be fun, but they don't do that.
No.
Seems really odd.
Yeah, it doesn't really get campy or fun. And also that I feel like the chapter divisions don't even really need to exist because
No, they don't.
it's not like a whole lot different happens from chapter 2
No,
to chapter 3 or whatever.
no.
There's just not a whole lot going on there as far as chapter progression.
No, they're completely unnecessary. It's just unfortunate because it looks so good. I
Yeah.
just wish they went, I just wish they did something interesting with it.
Yeah. I feel
You know,
like they were
abstract or just experimental or something. Like I said, the quick cut editing, the glitchiness of it and everything, they just kind of repeat that over and over again, where people are like, twisting your head around and whatnot.
yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
feel like they were trying to harken back to, the old like 60s style like Repulsion or something like that, like,
which, yeah,
classic Polanski.
yeah, they're definitely going for that. Which that
And
didn't bother me too much.
didn't bother me too much. I
Um,
wasn't, but I felt like they didn't really capitalize on that.
no, and like the glitchy editing thing, it's like I can just watch an Aphex Twin video. Like they do it so much better. You know
Uncle
what I mean?
Daddy.
Like, come on. This isn't new hat here. This is played out, and then you keep going back to it over and over and over again. It's like, come on, man, let's do something interesting. You
Well,
got the look.
yeah. I mean, that's really the shtick. Like that's where the horror comes from. I mean, there's when she finally does crack, there's some violence for sure. But I mean, that's
Yeah, that was the only thing that kind of was like, oh, geez. There's the quick, the flashing, the editing that was going on
yeah,
when there's some dismemberment going on. That was the only thing that was like, oh shit.
yeah, yeah. It definitely amped up during that scene, and
But then it quickly dies down
oh
again.
yeah, yeah. As soon as that's over with, it's yeah. I
We're
will say
back to
there's
square
a
one.
great Mondo poster that came out this week. Jay Shaw did a Mondo poster for this. It's pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's some really like striking scenes in this because of the black and white and the
Hmm.
way they frame certain things. But man,
I love the title card.
yeah,
The
oh, the side card's great.
Loved it.
I'm with you there. I'm with you. This could have used a little more meat on them
Yeah,
bones.
I agree.
It's just not much.
I agree. I'd say it's maybe worth a look just because of it is a pretty brisk runtime. Although I will again warn you that it feels like a longer movie than it is. It's like
It
76 minutes long or something, but it feels like you're watching that shit for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours.
This is like there's a certain point where it's like I think 20 minutes of this is just her walking down that hall
Yeah.
with like the cut up editing of her walking down that hall.
And we talk about slow burn movies a lot on this show, and both of us, I think I can speak for you, Kevin, that slow burn's great. I love slow burn
I
thrillers and
want
horror movies.
that's pretty much what I want. I
Yeah,
want slow burn.
I think that slow burn is great, but an effective slow burn horror movie or a thriller has a build up. Like you can feel the tension or the dread or the suspense building. Like there's something that's going on where you're just like, oh man, something. Oh geez,
Yeah,
something's happening. But
because
this,
it builds you up to a point where you kind of lose it a little bit, where you're
yeah,
like, just fucking do it already. I need it. I need the release. What the
exactly.
hell's gonna happen? This just draws it out.
It just to me there wasn't much of a build up. Like it was slow, yes, but there was it didn't feel like it was building to anything. I didn't feel like she was slowly losing her mind.
No,
I mean,
honestly, I thought she lost her mind like 2 minutes in. I'm
yeah,
like, okay, she's out of her mind already.
yeah,
Okay, we're not building up to that anymore.
exactly. She finds the necklace, and then it's all downhill from there. Like
Yeah,
that's it.
like 2 minutes in, we're at the finish line. It's like, oh shit, okay. So what is this? The post game interview? Is that what we're doing? We already ran the race. We missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I did like the scene at the end where they just showed it was like the upside down shot of the city. I thought that looked really cool.
Again,
Yeah,
there's a number of shots in this that are great. There's little pieces here and there that are fantastic.
mm-hmm.
It's just, unfortunately, for every one of those scenes, there's two more where like absolutely nothing's happening.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form, visually, anything. No, it's just nothing.
Yep. It's unfortunate.
It's a bummer. It is a bummer. Because I gotta say, within the first, I would say maybe first 5 minutes, I'll be generous. I was just like, holy shit, this is gonna be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is gonna be amazing. I can feel it. But it didn't turn out that way.
I will say that the director, Mickey Keating, he's definitely somebody that I want to keep an eye on. I want to see more of his stuff. I heard good things about his next film, Carnage Park. I want to see that. I didn't see Pod, which was the one that came out before Darling, but I kind of want to check that out now. I do have that.
I was gonna say, I thought you did watch Pod.
No, I didn't. It was sent to me, but I did not get around to checking it out, unfortunately. But now I might watch it.
Knock it out.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested in Carnage Park now for sure, because it's got a great poster too.
It's got a pretty good cast too.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go ahead and give this a score. Kevin, what are you gonna give Darling?
I'm gonna give Darling a 5.
I am also gonna give Darling a 5. Just didn't quite hit the mark for me, unfortunately.
No, but it's got some nice visuals in there.
It does.
And Lauren Ashley Carter is pretty good in it.
Yeah, I liked her a lot in Jugface, and I think that she definitely is headed to that Scream Queen status. She seems like she does a lot of indie horror movies these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out, Darling. Just know that there's not a whole lot going on there. It still shows promise though, for sure.
Yeah, don't get your expectations up too high.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about our next movie, Hush. This is written and directed by Mike Flanagan. I have a synopsis here. A deaf woman is stalked by a psychotic killer in her secluded home. This stars John Gallagher Jr., Kate Siegel, and Michael Trucco.
Which another synopsis that's just straight to the point.
Straight to the point, yeah. So I'll start this off. First of all, I was interested in this mostly because of Mike Flanagan. He's the guy that directed Oculus and Absentia. Now, Absentia was a very low-budget indie horror movie that got a lot of praise. A lot of people liked that one. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I did like Oculus quite a bit. I thought that it was a really interesting. I thought it was a really interesting take on the whole supernatural horror movie, because when Oculus came out, that was when the supernatural horror resurgence was in full effect, and I was on my way out. I was like, all right, enough. I've had enough. But then when Oculus came out, I was like, all right, there's enough going on here that I'm kind of into it. And I gotta say that I kind of felt the same way about Hush. Now, this is like a home invasion thriller. We've seen a million of these, but the hook is that the victim in this is she's deaf, so she can't she can't hear what's going on. And I kind of instantly gravitated towards that idea because I thought that you could do a lot of really cool stuff.
Oh,
with that.
so much. There's so much. I mean, it's just because it's untapped.
Yeah,
It's untapped potential right there. There's
so
so many different ways with it.
so I went into it kind of instantly interested, and I got to say overall I thought the movie was fine. It didn't blow me away or anything, but I did think that they utilized a number of interesting things with this. Unfortunately, I didn't find the killer to be he wasn't that interesting. We never really found out what his motivations were or anything like that. He was flat. He was just a flat
He's beyond
killer.
dull. Which I didn't know that was John Gallagher.
I didn't either. At one point, we were watching the movie. I was watching with my girlfriend, and I said, "Oh, that kind of looks like John Gallagher Jr." And she's like, "It is John Gallagher Jr." And I was like, "No, it's not." And I looked it up, and I was like, "Okay, it is."
Well, I looked it up afterwards, and I'm like, nah, that can't be right.
Yeah,
It can't be. But apparently it was. I mean, IMDb's only lied to me a couple of times, so.
Yeah. So maybe I can expand on the synopsis a little bit more. So Kate Siegel plays a writer. She's an author. She is staying in this kind of remote cabin in order to finish her next book. And I think it was at the age of 13, she lost her hearing. So the first thing, and this is, I know it's a really small, insignificant thing that probably not a lot of people even noticed, but the use of technology in this movie is some of the most accurate I think I've seen in quite a long time. Right. Everything is on point.
It was funny because I don't have like any Apple products, and of course, that's what she's using here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of getting to see like what you can do, like the interconnectivity of everything. I'm just like, wait, it can do all that?
Yeah,
Hold up.
The use of technology is 100% accurate in this, and I gotta say, like, that really aided in my enjoyment of this because that's how it would really happen, and it added to the realism for me. And I know it's a small thing, but it really, for me at least, definitely went a long way. At least at the beginning, before In all honesty, I wish they would have. I wish they would have used that a little bit more. Yeah, because they only use it right at the beginning, and then
and then next thing you know, it's like, bam, I'm John Gallagher Jr. I'm here to kill you, and you're like, oh shit, well that just sucked all the tension out.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Like, he wears this creepy mask that you see, in the poster and stuff, but he takes it off like 2 seconds in, and you're just like, okay, well, there we go.
That's what I mean. Like, there's really interesting things going on with the technology and stuff, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be drawn out, and she's gonna be tortured and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And then he just pops up at the door, takes his mask off, and he's like, hi, I'm here to kill you.
Yeah.
What? Why did we do all that work?
And at that point, I also thought to myself, because this is like, what, 15, 20 minutes into the movie? And I was like, where are they going to go from here? We already know the identity of the killer. He already, killed, at that time, I was thinking, oh, he already killed the person that could save her. It's only her. It's down to her. She's the only one left. So it's like, where are we going to go from here? I mean, all he has to do is, she has like 50 doors in this house. All he has to do is bust down the door and kill her.
She has windows everywhere.
Yeah.
Just break them fucking windows. Well, he just gets caught up in the whole, which that's the main thing that kind of bugged me with this, is the killer makes no fucking sense in this movie.
Well, clearly
he's all about this. Well, he's all about this, like, playing the game and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And then, like I said, he like kills the game by just popping up and be like, hey, this is what I look like. Now I have to kill you.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I can come in whenever I want, but I'm gonna wait. And it's like, okay, well, what can you really do with that? The only thing that I thought the other thing was, they didn't really seem to utilize the whole her being deaf that well. Outside of the only thing that I thought was interesting was in the sense that she doesn't realize like how much noise she's making.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's probably ridiculously quiet.
Yeah.
It usually is in those places, and you got two people, and she's trying to sneak around, and I'm just thinking like he can clearly hear you,
Yeah.
lady. Like, what are you doing?
Well,
He
that
can
was
hear everything you're doing.
yeah. I kind of agree in that they maybe could have done a few more things with the fact that she has this disability, but they did utilize it at the beginning, and that was one of the things where I was like, oh man, this is gonna be
Yeah, exactly. But
he
that's
was
kind of
like, this isn't a big spoiler or anything, but early, like right at the beginning, he gets into the house and she has no idea he's there, and he's like messing with her.
yeah, and that's what I thought we were getting into here.
And I was like, oh man, this is creepy. Like, this is, especially when she's on FaceTime with her sister and she kind of sees him in the background. And I was like, oh man, this is pretty intense. But yeah, they kind of throw that away.
It's all thrown out the damn window. It's just like, oh, here.
Well, they
come
do
in at some point.
They do come back to it a little bit at the very end, which I thought was cool.
But for the most part, it's just standard fare.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just oh my god, it irritated the shit out of me. Such a fucking disappointment.
I thought that she was definitely a stronger female lead than a lot of these kind of typical slasher-esque movies. She played it smart a lot, and I liked that she thought things through. Like, she weighed out the options. And that was another
I hate the way in which they did that.
That was an interesting thing, because they only do it once, and when that happens, I was like, what? Like, if you're gonna do that, then do it through the whole movie. Don't just do that one time, because they deliberately fool the audience in that scene, and it was really frustrating, because at first I was like, oh my god, this was like the ballsiest thriller I've ever seen, and then they go back, they renege on what they showed.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that irritated me, is they set it up in the beginning where, you know, she talks about having a writer's voice in her head. Yeah. And it's like, well, okay, they're definitely going to employ that at some point.
Yeah, of course.
And then, of course, she talks about, like, well, I have 7 different endings that I'm working on, and I just got to try and figure out the right one. It's like, oh, okay. So they're going to utilize that in some fashion. And then when they do, like, the execution of that was just terrible. How, like, there's a superimposed image of her next to herself talking to herself. It's just like,
yeah.
Why couldn't you just have a running dialogue in her head as all this is happening?
Yeah.
Like, throw that in at the end, and then that's how you execute it too.
Yeah, it felt unfortunately that felt lazy to me, that they had to explain this somehow, and that's the way that they chose to do it, where it's her talking to herself.
It's just lazy.
Yeah, because
I thought the voice in your head was the sound of your mother, not your own voice. So it should have been a completely different voice. It shouldn't have been you talking to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So you already fucked that up.
Yeah.
It's just, it got, I don't know. It's just, it just became redundant. Like, like you had the hook at the outset, and you build it up decently enough. And it's like, okay, we're going to do something different. This is going to be great. But then no, they just throw it all out the window, and they're like, we're just going right back to what's always been done.
Yeah, they definitely returned to the well. They go to the same old home invasion well there.
And the other thing that, and I mean, I don't know, because I don't really know deaf people, but she didn't seem believable with her not being able to hear and having the paralyzed vocal cords or whatever, which is a good enough hook. But at the same time, she didn't seem like, so she had this happen when she was 13, and clearly she's much older now, but it didn't seem like she was attuned to, her handicap or whatever you want to call it. Like, she was just a regular person who was like, oh, I can't hear. She wasn't like more attuned to like her senses and stuff, and she didn't have like her house set up to like help her out in these situations.
Well, there was one thing. There was
one thing, which if we're talking about the same thing, you're thinking, okay, that should be implemented immediately. But no, it's not until the end. But you know, just there's a point in time where he comes into the house, and I'm thinking, if you're a deaf person and you've been deaf for a while, you can clearly tell. I would
Yeah.
think that you would be able to know that someone is entering the house just a mere feet from you.
Yeah, because I mean, even if even people that are not deaf, you get that feeling. Like you get that feeling that you're being watched or someone is in the room with you, that someone's near you.
Yeah.
You get that vibe. And even like, smells and things like that. Like
Well,
people
and
have odor.
just think, like, just do a fun experiment in your house, your apartment, whatever. Just trying to open up a window without making any fucking noise whatsoever, or vibrations or anything. Like, it's completely impossible.
Yeah, you feel the wind, the smells change. It's yeah, I mean I feel like she would figure it out earlier than what she does.
They just draw it out, and it just becomes the same old, same old.
And that's the unfortunate thing. I was totally on board with the beginning of this and the setup, but I feel like they really kind of dropped the ball after he reveals himself, and at that point it does devolve into pretty much your standard home invasion thriller, and the fact that it's just kind of one-on-one, it's not even that interesting, unfortunately. And I feel like they
Yeah.
don't really go back and utilize the whole disability thing until towards the end. And it's yeah, it's unfortunate. I think they made a lot of interesting choices. I think that making her a smart, strong lead that made logical choices.
Now, the only thing that I didn't quite understand, and maybe I could be wrong here, but I thought if you need to contact 911 or anything, you don't need the internet.
Oh, you can't do it from a computer.
Can't do it for, okay.
No, if you are on, because there's no like cell phone like chip in a Mac, in a computer, like, so she would need the phone. Like if she had access to the
Yeah,
phone, you can do it.
I gotcha.
But yeah, she would need, and that just goes back to the use of technology. How when you have an iPhone and a Mac computer, the messages are synced between both. So like if she's sending a text message to someone saying help, he'll see that. Like he'll see that on her phone, even though she's typing it on the computer.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just I really like that.
It was a nice touch, especially what they did with it at the beginning.
And then I also thought to myself, like, wow, like I think that the advances in technology must be fantastic for people that are deaf, because you 20 years ago you didn't have text messaging and FaceTime. Like you can
Yeah. Yeah,
have a
that's true.
phone call. You can call somebody up and speak with them even though you can't hear them. Like I think that's an amazing thing.
Yeah,
And I wish that they utilized more things like that throughout the movie and not just at the beginning.
definitely.
But, points for trying, points for giving it a go.
But the thing that really surprised me is, when I heard about Hush and I saw that it was Mike Flanagan, and I was like, oh, okay. Because I liked Oculus. That was one that surprised me. I was like, this, and then, you read a little bit about it and you got the hook there and you're like, okay, this is going to be something different here. And I do quick look on Letterboxd, just look at all the stars, and it's like 4 stars, 3.5, 3.5, 4, 4, 4. And I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be good. But I honestly, like, when I was done, I'm just like, what did I miss? What am I missing here?
I don't think
What's everyone else seeing? Because I see nothing. It's just like, that was all right.
it was average to me. Like
Yeah.
it was an average home invasion thriller that had an interesting hook. Like that, I feel like they could have capitalized on the hook a little bit more, but it was average to me.
And
Didn't hate it.
what's up with this? Everyone's using crossbows now.
Yeah, it was definitely. That was
Just
the
like,
other thing I liked, how she was having a really hard time getting that crossbow loaded.
yeah, because they're
They are.
fucking tough.
They're tough to load, and I like how she was really struggling with that.
She just kept trying and trying. That was maybe the one. That was probably the sequence in which where like like the actual like the pain that's being inflicted on her was actually like getting to me, because there for a second it was just like snap, 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 and
Yeah.
I'm just like, God, your hands has got to be killing you.
Oh, and yeah, and the scene when he, oh, I mean, it's a spoiler, but he injures her in a
Yeah,
way that
that was a
when
bit
you
surprising.
when you see it, you're just like, oh God, like that just looks so bad.
Yeah, and again, that's another moment where you're like, okay, they might take this to a different place than what I'm accustomed to, but they don't,
Like if she had to sign
unfortunately.
or something,
And like anything,
that would have been, yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on Hush, Kevin?
no.
All right, let's give
Okay.
let's give Hush a score. I'm gonna give Hush a 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna give Hush a 4.
And again, that's playing now on Netflix, so you can check that out on Netflix.
I,
Premiered there.
I just the look on her face on the poster, just for whatever reason, makes me laugh.
She
I
looks a
don't
little
know why.
scared. She looks a little scared.
But she looks like more surprised. Like she's not really that scared. She's just kind of like, oh,
Hey. I could have used something more with John Gallagher Jr. as the killer too. Like I know that it was probably meant to be just like he's just a random psycho, but just something more. Just because again, it was basically just those two characters. So maybe just a little bit more backstory from him or something. But
yeah. I mean, the only thing you get out of it is that he's pretty dumb.
yeah, well,
He's not the most intelligent guy.
nah, he seems like kind of a redneck type person. But also the other guy was an idiot too when he tricks the other guy. I'm not gonna say it, but that to me, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like that guy was an idiot. But
I did appreciate though that how he did kind of point out that he got lucky.
yeah. All right, let's move on. Talk about some of what we've been watching in the watch list. I think Kevin, we'll start with you this week.
I saw the Bigamist.
Okay.
This is on Fandor from 1953. This is Ida Lupino, female director from the 50s. And this was the first film of hers which I've seen. A lot of people like her, and obviously she's pretty famous for being a female director in the 50s. And she also stars in it. And as you can tell from the title, it's about a guy that he's got 2 wives. He's leading 2 lives.
Uh-oh. Double life.
Yeah, he's got that double life going. His one wife wants to adopt a kid. So this is what kicks everything off, because they got to do, the adoption agency's got to do this like full on investigation of these two. Just background checks, stuff like that. Just meet and greet, talk to people, try and figure out are these decent enough human beings to take a kid in. And of course, right off the bat, the guy with the 2 wives is like, oh shit, this isn't gonna work out for me. And obviously it doesn't. Pretty early, they find out. And when the guy finds out, because the other wife that he has, he had to marry her because he got her pregnant, so he already has a kid. So once the guy finds out, it just goes straight forward. It goes straight into, he's like, well, how did this happen? And he's like, well, I'll tell you. And they sit down, and then it goes to flashback, right? And it's him like narrating everything. And it's dull. And honestly, the biggest issue is the main guy, the bigamist. He's just such a dull character. There's nothing to him. And honestly, like 3 minutes in, you're just thinking, what are these 2 women doing with this guy? Why are they with this guy? What are they seeing this guy? And like the way he picks up his second wife is just like, he's such a pathetic person. And there's just nothing really going on visually. The story itself, there's not much going on. The characters, I mean, the 2 women, they're interesting. I would like to see more of them, but you don't, because everything that you really see is connect to him in some way. I got pregnant. What are we going to do? That type of thing. We keep staying focused on this guy that just doesn't really have anything to offer. And it's just doesn't work for me at all.
That's unfortunate. That's the Bigamist. I saw Everybody Wants Some.
Oh.
New Richard Linklater. Now,
A little presumptuous, is it not?
well, maybe. So this one, I'm a pretty big Richard Linklater fan, I would say, but the
Hmm.
trailers were really not doing it for me on this one, and the idea of a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused had me a little apprehensive. I was like, it's been like 23 years since that movie came out, and I feel like he kind of caught lightning in a bottle with that one, and I just didn't see a movie coming out that could come anywhere close. But I will say, I loved Everybody Wants Some. I had such a fantastic time with this movie. It is very much a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. Like it has the same look. The music selection is amazing. I mean, how that was one of the strongest things in Dazed and Confused, right? It was the music,
Yeah.
and he definitely utilizes the music in a very smart way in this one, where it just seems like a perfect fit. Every song that he uses just seems like a perfect fit for that scene. So basically, this one, whereas Dazed and Confused took place on the last day of high school, and it was an ensemble piece, but it kind of focused on someone who was a freshman coming into high school. This one takes place 3 days before the first day of college, and the main character is a college freshman. I'm pretty sure that it's all drawn from Richard Linklater's life, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And it's about a group of baseball players who live in the state bought two houses to in order to house the baseball team for this college. So they move into this house and live together, and it's a college movie. It's about them going to parties and having these kind of pseudo philosophical conversations like Richard Linklater likes to do, but in this one it's a lot lighter. Like they keep it very brief and very light. There is a lot of dialogue, and that's obviously the strongest aspect of the movie. I mean, there's no plot. It's just like Dazed and Confused or Slacker, Suburbia, or any of his other earlier movies where
You're
there's
just
no
hanging out.
there's no conflict to be had here. It's just these guys 3 days in their life before school starts, and it's funny. The characters are, at first you just think to yourself, I'm not. I don't know if I'm gonna be into these characters, because they're kind of your typical college jocks,
Mm.
and you're just I don't know, but they grow on you. Like they each have their own very distinct personalities, and they're all very funny, and the movie grows on you, and I wanted more of it by the end. It felt like a long movie. It was like 2 hours long, but it felt like it was a meaty movie. Like there's a lot going on there, and I think that that's just because of how Linklater likes to structure his movies. Dazed and Confused feels like a pretty lengthy movie as well, because
Yeah.
there's no arc. There's no it just you don't see an end in sight. It just kind of meanders through these
Yeah,
days.
because you don't really have any, beacons within the plot
Exactly.
that you're like, okay, everything's starting to get tied up a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, probably like 20 minutes left in this thing.
Exactly. It just kind of meanders through their lives, which I appreciate. I don't need a movie to have a strong plot or conflict or anything like that. The only thing that this movie is really missing that Dazed and Confused has is strong female characters. Like there really are no female characters in this at all. Like
Mhm.
the only females in this are pretty much girls that these guys are trying to hook up with, and that's really it. And so I mean, I get it. Like this movie's about a house full of dudes. So I
Yeah.
totally understand why there aren't many female characters, and there is one who acts as kind of a love interest, and they did develop he did develop her character. Like they spend time with her, and she's very smart, and she's like this artist type, and he's this baseball player, but he's also very intelligent, and it's it was just great. I had a great time with it, and I highly recommend it. I do have a review up on the site for this.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I don't know if you'll like it, Kevin, or not, because you seem a little wishy washy with
We'll
Linkletter.
see.
But
I don't know. I'm not really liking what I'm hearing, but I'll give it a shot. I always, for whatever reason, I give them a shot.
it's just fun. It's just
Uh,
a fun, light, joyous movie. I left the theater with a smile on my face.
There's definitely a time and place for those
Oh,
movies.
and it looks really good
I
too.
like those. I like those bad. I like those bad boys on Sundays for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's a good Sunday afternoon watch for sure. It also looks really good too. It doesn't. I think. Don't quote me on it, but I think he shot it on 35 millimeters, so it looks really good.
I have to get on that train. Maybe I do want some. I don't know. I'm torn, Adam. But I can tell you that I watched another movie from the 50s. I sagged, buddy. Missed it. We've moved on. My apologies.
No, you're good.
Touch of Evil from 1958. Orson Welles. Oh boy. This sucker is ridiculous in execution. Like cinematography, everything that's going on here. Orson Welles, camera. Oh my god. The movie starts off with, I don't know how long it is. Like, I don't even want to say a number, but it's a single take, right? So it pops on, and it's what's going on here is there's some trouble going on the Mexican border. So you get super close up of a bomb being placed in a car, and then we follow this car around. But while we're also following this car around, it kind of tails off to Charlton Heston's character. He's out in the town with his wife. So it kind of leaves the car and follows them for a little bit, and then the car meets back up with them, and you have, the ticking the whole time. And then it finally, the shot ends with it cutting to the explosion, which, oh my God, that is an unbelievable way to start a movie, because you're immediately just like, yes, this is fantastic. I want all of this. I can't wait to dig into it deeper. Even though there's Charlton Heston playing a Mexican guy, which doesn't work at all. Yeah. It's just so terrible. I'm also pretty sure that this was my first Charlton Heston movie, which I did not like his performance at all. It was awful. Every time he was on screen, just irritated the hell out of me. Plus, then you add on top of that he's playing a Mexican guy, which just makes it takes it to a whole nother level. Orson Welles is just, I don't really know what Orson Welles is doing in this movie. It's fantastic.
He's like a sloppy drunk.
It looks like, the look of his character looks like he, from the outset, immediately when you're introduced to this guy, you're like, oh shit, he's in the throes of a heart attack. And he has that heart attack throughout the movie, but he doesn't die.
Heart attack.
Yeah, but it's getting worse because he starts to sweat more and more and more as the movie goes on. But he doesn't die. Like, he's just hanging on. I don't know how he does it. It's just him having a heart attack for like an hour and a half. It's incredible. And just you get a sense that they don't really that Orson Welles just doesn't give a shit about the narrative. He doesn't care, like, the plot. He's just like, what the fuck? I'm just here to do stuff with my camera. Okay. Yeah. I'm just here to make directing decisions, all right? And which, to me, I was completely on board because his decisions are great. They're fantastic. I mean, this guy's just, it's like nonstop angles and shadows. Just every fucking scene is like a different angle. And it almost to a point, it gets overwhelming where you're just like, there's a bit too much going on. There's a little bit too much creativity. I don't know if I can handle this. But at the same time, you just hang on like Orson Welles is hanging on with his heart attack. And you just hang in there. And man, the way it ends, just everything's fantastic about it. And it eases the whole, Charlton Heston's playing the Mexican, and we have Mexican stereotypes all over the place. Yeah. And there's this character too that's like a night watchman at like a hotel that they come to. He's introduced, and his character he's so fucking out of place, and he's god awful. And I hated him so much. But the creative flourishes they make up for all that stuff. So I highly recommend that one if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I talked about this on the show, not back in May of 2014. Ah. Yeah, so I recommend it too. I gave that a 10 out of 10 actually.
Ooh,
loved it.
I give it 9. I give it a 9, like 9.5. It's just that Night Watchman just pissed me off.
I was able to look past the Night Watchman. I saw Hardcore Henry.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Talk about Relentless.
So, this is a an entirely first-person film. It's an action film. I gotta say, this is getting kind of middle of the road reviews out there. I wrote a review for this too, actually. I actually quite enjoyed it. I don't know what people wanted out of this movie, but I wanted a high-octane action movie, and that's exactly what I got. The plot is nearly non-existent, and there's a lot of leaps in the logic of this movie. And maybe that's what it's nonstop. It's just a nonstop action movie. The first 3 minutes are the character of Henry, who we see through his eyes the entire time. He wakes up in a lab. People come in, try to kill him, and then that's it. Just from that point, it starts and it never stops. It's almost too much action. It's almost too intense, where they don't give you a moment to breathe. But I gotta say, like, I gave it a 6 out of 10 based, I mean, the technical achievement of this movie in general. I watched some, if you go online, and I would suggest seeing the movie first, but you can go online and see some behind the scenes stuff. Holy crap. I mean, some of the stunt work and some of the crazy stuff that they do in this movie, it's really impressive. I mean, they used all GoPros. This is a movie shot entirely using GoPros. And it's crazy. It is a crazy ass movie. It is utterly over the top in every single way. Charlton Copley's in it. He's really Tim Roth's in it for like one scene, but Charlton Copley plays 5 or 6 different characters in this.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, and I thought he was great in it, because all the characters that he plays are completely different. Like, one, he's like this coked up, just crazy guy. He plays this punk rocker that has a giant mohawk and busts up people with I think it was with an axe or a bat. He plays this British soldier. He plays like a secret agent, like hitman type. He plays all these different characters. Okay. And he added a lot of kind of comedic levity to the movie. But man, I gotta recommend it just because of how insane it is. The level of violence is so intense too. I mean, holy crap, people get destroyed in this movie. There's a scene, I mean, it's just like a first-person shooter game. That's exactly what it is. I mean, he'll go into a room and he'll pick up a new gun, and it's like a grenade launcher. And then there's one scene where he shoots someone point blank with a grenade launcher, and the person explodes, of course. And it's just a great time. I had a great time with it. Just don't expect anything in regards to a story or plot progression.
Well, I'm just
anything like that.
What I'm wondering is who was expecting that? You know what I mean? Like, you don't go into hardcore Henry thinking like, damn, this plot's gonna be great. It's gonna be fucking airtight.
Yeah,
can't wait to see what they did with that writing.
There were aspects of it that were they needed to be better explained. So Henry doesn't talk because he's kind of like a cyborg. He has robotic parts. He's like a superhero, but it's kind of sort of like RoboCop. And the assault on the lab happens before they can install his like voice chip or whatever. So he doesn't talk throughout the whole movie. He's completely silent. And they never bother explaining who he is, what happened to him, where he came from. Like Charlton Copley, they kind of explain his backstory, but I mean, it is so surface level in the explanations.
They're like, everyone is here for the action, so let's just get to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much exactly like the music videos that these are based on, or well, that started with the music videos.
Yeah,
it's those where those music videos had almost no plot whatsoever. Like, there was something there, but they never explained anything. And that's exactly how this movie is, where nothing is explained at all. You're just kind of thrown in, and you have to figure it out. And I think the point of that was that, part of what happened to him was that he lost his memory. So he has no recollection of what happened or who he was or where he came from or anything like that. And I think that the point was that the audience, are Henry.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to figure things out. But there's no resolution. Like, you don't figure anything out. There's a guy, like the villain, he has telekinetic powers. He can float. He can pick people up and pick objects up and throw them across the room and do all this crazy stuff. But it's like, what? How? Who is this guy? It's just...
I just imagine the filmmakers being like, I don't know.
Yeah. They're like, fuck it. Who cares?
It looks awesome though, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, it's just... There's a lot of really crazy action.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that's fun. Like, sometimes that is just, it's fun to have that. Just be like, I don't care why any of this is happening. I just want to watch it happen.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I had a good time with it. I mean, I probably could have used a little bit of something. Just a little bit, maybe character development, plot, something in there, because I needed a reprieve. It was so much action that at one point, maybe halfway through, I actually got bored. Like, I found myself getting bored because it was just a never-ending onslaught of enemies that he was going up against. It was very much like watching someone play a video game.
Or playing Dynasty Warriors. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, after a while, like, like the first hour, you're like, this is fucking cool. These weapons, this shit is awesome. And after a while, you're just like, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, it did get dull at one point. I mean, it's, even though what was happening was crazy, it was just like, all right. But then like the big car chase that you see in the trailer, that occurred, and I was like, all right, okay, this is all right. We're getting crazy now. And then the climax of the film is out of control. I mean, he goes up against essentially an army and destroys everyone, and it is a bloodbath. But yeah, I had a really fun time with this movie, and I would recommend going to see it. The whole motion sickness thing, I didn't have any issues at all with it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, she did have to look away a few times. She does get motion sick pretty easily, so she had to kind of look away a couple times. But she said that after she sort of became acclimated to, because she said that she kind of had to watch this in a different way than she watches normal movies. But once she kind of got adjusted to it, she said it was fine.
Okay.
But it is literally a dude wearing a helmet that has a GoPro strapped to it. So you do have to get used to it. It's very shaky a lot. But I mean, they did a pretty good job. I mean, there's scenes where there's like parkour stuff going on where you're like flipping off walls and shit, and they did a pretty good job of making it as easy on the eye as they could.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would actually recommend checking out Hardcore Henry.
All right. I have one that I'm going to kind of hold off on. Red Right Return, which is playing on Fan-Dependent Films. Number one, I recommend it. It's got Leo Fitzpatrick in there. Plus, it's got the guy from Cold Weather who played Brothers, deals with addiction. It's the only thing that I will say is at one point it kind of gets extremely basic, but within that, it almost becomes abstract because it's honestly, for like a decent stretch, it's just a guy walking around. Like, that's it. He's just walking around, wandering. But it's the way that they set it up and the way that they execute it. It's quite impressive because, like I said, it becomes more than that. It becomes kind of abstract and a little bit experimental, even though it's just a guy wandering around. He's just walking around, just walking, doing his thing with his backpack. But I know you're going to be checking this out at some point, so I'll hold off on saying anything more.
Yeah,
until you get check it out.
Yeah, this is available for free right now on fandependent.com. Full disclosure, we are sort of partnering with them for this season's festival to help promote it and everything. Yeah, I'll probably be checking this out. We'll probably talk about it in more detail later on at some point.
Yeah, so I'll hold off for that. The only other one that I did watch is, which you can watch right now. It's up on Vimeo, and that's Kurt Walker's Hit to Pass. Is this kind of experimental documentary?
I thought you already saw this.
No, I missed it. We covered this back when Gina Telleroli's Here's to the Future came out. They released these two got together and released both of their films for like a month, and we covered both of them. Jake covered Hit to Pass, and I covered the other one.
Oh, okay.
I missed it, but now Kurt Walker has put it up on Vimeo for free. Anyone can see it anytime. It's a little over an hour. Heavy on the digital cinematography. They use drones at a couple of points here and there. It almost feels like a mission statement, almost. Like these guys are kind of like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing in the future. This is like the type of films that we're going to be making here. Because it starts out it just kind of looks like a normal documentary. It's just they go to this guy that they know. He's getting ready for like a demolition derby race. And that's why it's called Hit to Pass. You have to hit the guy in order to pass. So it's him and his dad getting this car ready for the race, right? So it just follows them around while they're doing their thing. And then it kind of sort of segues into this interview with an Aboriginal, and he's talking about some things, and then you kind of start to realize that they're going out further and further in the community to kind of show like the tightness of the community itself. It's pretty impressive for the resources that they have, that they're able to pull this off. I mean, they don't pull it off completely that it blows your mind, but it is a good start, and that's why I say that it kind of feels like a mission statement. Like this is what we're going to be doing. This is how we're going to do documentaries. Which right there is enough that I like this enough that I'm on board. I want to see more.
Maybe you could do the cover for their next movie, because this one is terrible.
Well, and then the thing is, they kind of like tie video games into it towards the end too. It's like, yeah, it's surprising how much is there, because on the surface it doesn't feel like much until you start to think about it a little bit and start to dig into it, and it's kind of surprising how much you get out of it. Because on the surface you're just like, oh, okay, that was interesting. It kind of feels like a student project or something. But then when you actually do sit down with it and start to think about it more, you're like, oh, okay, I see what these guys are doing.
Cool. Hit to Pass. You can check it out for free on Vimeo right now.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else I'm going to talk about.
Like how they just kind of died down for you. So I'm done. All right, well, let's get into some other shit.
All right. We'll talk about some predictions. The Boss. You said 38. I said 48. Actual 18. Not great. Hardcore Henry. You said 64. I said 78. Actual 51. Not great on that. Demolition. You said 44. I said 52. Actual 50. Yeah. So.
Which I don't understand. I only saw like one little, and it was honestly like a pop-up trailer. I think it was like when I went to IMDb or something. You know how they'll just like instantly play?
Yeah.
But I have no sound on, right? So it's just this little video of Jake Gyllenhaal dancing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this movie about? Like, it looks so upbeat.
I have no desire to see it whatsoever.
He's just dancing down the street. That's all I saw. And then that one photo of him holding like he's like destroying a room or something.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by this movie.
Yeah, well, his wife dies and then he dismantles things in order to cope or something. And he befriends like a kid or something.
But where's the dancing down the street come in? Is that before or after his wife dies?
I have no idea.
See, now I kind of want to know.
No idea. Next week, we have The Jungle Book. The old Jon Favreau action. Disney live action Jungle Book. You know, it's interesting. I had no desire to see this whatsoever. I like Jon Favreau. No, not until I saw the trailer. After I saw the trailers, I was just like, not really doing it for me. But I heard that it's amazing. Like I heard nothing but great things about it. So
yeah, I honestly, when I saw I had no interest whatsoever, and then I saw the trailer, and I was like, that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the first trailer that I saw, I was like, not really interested. But I heard that there was like one other trailer that came out that I didn't see. Like the latest trailer, I heard is a lot better. But I heard it's fantastic. I heard that the animation, the animals, it's like the best that's ever been displayed in cinema. So I'm interested in that too.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. What are you thinking on the Jungle Book?
I'm thinking like a 86.
86. Okay. I'm gonna say 88 on that.
Damn, going a little bit higher. All right.
We got Criminal. Criminal. This is. Is this the one with Kevin Costner?
All I know is, judging by the title of the movie, I just don't want to see it. I don't care who's in it.
I think it's the one with Kevin Costner.
Yeah, there's bland. Yeah, Kevin Costner and Ryan Reynolds. Imagine someone plays a criminal.
The memories and skills of a CIA agent are implanted into the brain of a dangerous criminal in order to stop. Blah blah blah.
This is directed by the guy that did The Iceman.
I'm gonna say, oh god, I'm gonna say like 32 on this one.
Let's say 24.
24. All right. And then we have Barbershop, the next cut.
Oh.
What are you thinking on this bad boy?
Damn, Cube is back.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to say 68 on Barbershop.
68? All right. I will say 46.
Okay.
And then finally we have Green Room.
What? Finally?
Yeah.
Been hearing about this damn movie for like 3 years, it feels like.
I'm dying to see it. I need it in my life right now. I'm gonna say
get out of a Green Room already.
Before I die. I'm gonna say 82 on this.
82. I'm gonna say 77.
Right in limited release we have Sing Street. I think Green Room. I don't know if Green Room's getting. I think it is getting a wide release actually. We have Sing Street. That's the one by the. Oh, what's his name? Damn it! The guy that did Once.
Oh, okay. No interest.
I have a mild interest. It's a 80s coming of age story.
John Carney,
yeah, about a kid who starts up a new wave band.
Oh boy. Watch out.
I like me some new wave. Looks like it's got a pretty decent soundtrack too, so yeah, I'll be checking it out probably. I'll probably wait. I probably won't see it in theaters. But what else do we have? Colonia? Yeah, it's the one with Emma Watson, yeah. Daniel Bruhl.
Get that Bruhl.
That Bruhl action going. The Adderall Diaries. This is the one with James Franco. I was actually interested in this one. This played Tribeca last year, and I was interested in it, but I kind of fell off for me a little bit.
And in all honesty, James Franco needs to be stopped. He just needs.
This man is out of control.
It was kind of funny at first, but we gotta.
I'm just excited to see.
We gotta calm down. It's just too much.
I'm just excited to see that when him playing Tommy Wiseau.
Oh God!
I just want to see him playing Tommy Wiseau because that looks amazing, and his brother playing the other guy from The Room. We have Rio, I Love You. No interest in that.
Is that one of the I Love You?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Okay.
I feel like the only one that I liked was Paris. I was really disappointed with New York, and was the other one Tokyo?
Yeah, Tokyo was alright.
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Alright.
We also have Sky, the first Monday in May, which is a documentary. The Measure of a Man. What do we have here? Our Last Tango. 13 Cameras.
Okay.
Above and Below. A lot of these I'm not really familiar with. Paradox. It's one with Zoe Bell. It's a time travel action movie.
Oh boy.
The Empire of Corpses.
What?
What is that?
Great fucking title. That's what that is.
Is that a Japanese?
I can't type it fast enough.
It's an animated film.
Oh, Empire of Corpses?
Yeah.
That's a badass title.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next week on VOD, we have 13 Cameras and a film called Holidays. Next week on Blu-ray, we have The Forest. I'm not interested in that.
I didn't hear anything good about that one.
No. I think it's a PG-13. See, The Forest, I can't remember the name of that, the real forest. They call it the Suicide Forest or something. It looks, I mean, that there's a Vice documentary that came out on that, and it's really interesting. But this movie doesn't look so hot. Let's see. It Follows? That's getting some kind of Blu-ray re-release.
Watch out.
It's got a really cool cover. That's pretty much it for next week, or this week rather. And then not a whole lot coming out here.
Oh.
I'm not seeing a lot on this list at all.
Heavens.
Looks like there's a DC animated movie called Justice League versus Teen Titans.
Oh shit. That seems lopsided, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Like,
yes.
What? Justice League? What the fuck are you fighting teens for?
I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be about. I'll probably skip that one. I'm not. Usually, these days, I'm just interested in the Batman ones.
You can't get enough Batman.
Nope.
You just want Batman all day, every day.
All day, every day, Batman.
And then if you could just slip Green Room in there.
Yep, Batman and Green Room. I forgot to mention the lady in the car with glasses and a gun comes out. Okay, the best title of any movie ever.
What was that other one? Wasn't there a movie called like some guy that kills people or something like that?
Maybe, probably.
I think it's one of my favorite titles.
Some guy that kills people.
Kills people.
All right, what do we have on the Criterion front next week?
Only Angels Have Wings. Howard Hawks, 1939. You got Cary Grant there. You got Rita Hayworth, and I don't know anything about it, but probably decent. I've been getting into some Howard Hawks this year, trying to dig into some Hawks movies. I haven't been disappointed so far, really.
It's got a cool cover.
It does have a pretty cool cover.
Very noir-esque cover.
Okay, so I just looked this up. Sorry to change this up. Some Guy Who Kills People is what it's called, and it's Kevin Corrigan.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. That was really bad, that movie.
Oh, it's also got Leo Fitzpatrick in there.
Yeah, I remember that movie. That came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2011.
Yep. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Twitter at FilmPulseNet, at FilmPulseKevin. If you want to send us your questions and topics, our email address is podcast@filmpulse.net. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson, and we'll see you next week.